Hey everybody. Thought Savage would play his intro, but I guess not.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
Oh, I guess we're on. Okay. Evening, everyone. We're watching the end of Collision. Sorry it took so long. Savage was kind of little, I guess, he said he had a lot of stuff going on, which, hey, we all have had that moment happen before. So, but right now we're watching Powerhouse Hobbs versus local jobber he squished, I guess. I'm not even sure who Powerhouse Hobbs was facing because it went by so fast. Yeah, it doesn't even, I can't even tell who that is. It's just some dude. Powerhouse Hobbs completely and utterly destroyed. Tonight's Collision has been pretty good so far, I thought, actually. We're getting a little bit more storyline, which is good. I mean, we're now getting reasons for why we're getting this whole Andrade versus the House of Black feud. We're getting and a whole bunch of good things. So tonight actually started off with them telling us that Sting and Darby Allin were going to reveal their partner, but it didn't go the way they wanted because Jericho came out with Suzuki demanding to know who the partner was going to be, and that Shivani knew and just didn't want to tell anyone. Shivani claimed he did not know anything, and so Sting and Darby Allin came out before they could beat up Shivani, and it was revealed that it will be Tetsuya Naito joining Sting and Darby Allin against Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, and Minoru Suzuki. So that could be an interesting match. I'm a huge Tetsuya Naito fan, so I am not against this, but I will be the first person to say that I'm not really sure what the goal here is. We'll see. They're going through the AEW Forbidden Door card right now, and pretty good card actually. So right now on the television screen, they're telling us that MJF will make his AEW Collision debut next week, which should be good because maybe we can get somebody who actually knows how to cut a good promo on there instead of cough, cough, can't cut a promo, punk, cough. See, this is what's funny to me, at least, and I know I have my personal bias, and I've told y'all guys that and all that, but I'm not a CM Punk fan, and I haven't been since ever. I didn't think he was all that special in Ring of Honor. I didn't think he was anything all that special in WWE. I don't think he's anything all that special in AEW. It's not that I'm like, oh, he's terrible. He's just not the, quote, best in the world. There are lots of people who I feel deserve that title far more than he does. Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, MJF. The list goes on and on. Doink the Clown. No, I'm kidding. That last one was a joke. If anyone's watching this and seriously thinks, well, he thinks Doink the Clown is better than CM Punk, that was a joke. But it's commercial right now, so let's see. So after that, I believe we got the Andrade versus Brody King match, which was actually surprisingly good. They did a really good job of making it seem like Brody King was going to Andrade was going to beat Brody King with the figure 8 leg lock again before Buddy Matthews ran down and, attacked, and that cost Brody the match. But then the three of the Brody King and Buddy Matthews laid out. Hold on one second, guys. I can't hardly see the chat. Hey, Richard. How's it going, man? How's your Saturday been? What are you thinking of Collision so far? Or if you're watching it, which hopefully you are, but if not, so far it's been pretty good. I don't really know. I'm not sure entirely I understand the point of everything that's happened on Collision, because, I love Tetsuya Naito, and I get that him and Jericho had a great match at the Tokyo Dome, which they did. But I'm also a person who's like, okay, so Naito is going to be helping them to fight Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and whoever. I'm like, this is a guy who is far more deserving of getting a title shot than Hiroshi, I'm not any good, Tanahashi is. Right? I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. Let's put it this way. It's better than Rampage, and you know what? I think we can all agree. All our cards on the table here, guys. I think we can all agree. It's better than any John pass me the razor, I need to bleed some more Moxley match. But, so, right now it's a commercial break. We're just waiting for it to get back from commercial. And this recently, we heard from Christian Cage, who ran down Toronto, but then promised he is going to turn the TNT Championship into the most prestigious championship in all of AEW, which I like. I like the idea of them basically being like, hey, we're not content with it just being a mid-card title. We want there to be prestige on this. So now we're getting Bullet Club Gold, and hold on, my web browser has decided to freeze up on me. So right now I'm not really sure what's going on other than Bullet Club was making their entrance, but and it almost got me killed in Assassin's Creed. Thank you, web browser. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get this fixed so that I can tell y'all what's going on. But so far, it's been pretty good. I'll say this. I said going into watching Collision that 3 shows was too much and that they needed to only have 2. Having now seen last week's episode and this week's episode, there is no question in my mind that the show that needs to be dropped is Rampage. Rampage is crap compared to Collision or Dynamite, so I'm just like, you know what? I'd honestly rather see this happen with Collision continue to go. And my web browser is still giving me issues. Yay. Well, this may be a very short stream, guys, because... Yeah. Oh, here we go. Well, wait, I said that. I may have spoken too soon. It came back on, but now it's acting like it's having trouble buffering. Okay, here it is. All right, so we're getting Bullet Club Gold versus FTR and Punk and somebody, I don't know. Every week they give Punk a new guy because they're like, let's see if we can't put as many people around him as possible to disguise the fact that he has ring rust. Whether you love CM Punk or you hate him, he has ring rust. I'm sorry, but he does. So, oh, that's right. It's the Gun Club. So Bullet Club Gold and the Gun Club versus CM Punk, FTR, and probably somebody I don't care about since, let's be honest here. I was watching a guy today and they were having a chat going, and it said, "Give us your controversial wrestling opinions." Um, what is it? And the funny thing is, one guy said that the Guns. He said, "My controversial opinion: the Guns are a better tag team than FTR. They should have kept the titles on them." And I'm like, I don't know if that's controversial so much as it is accurate. I mean, I don't dislike FTR, but I feel like they took the titles off of. I feel like they took the titles off of the Guns way too quickly. Here comes Ricky Nobody Cares Starks. Yay, Ricky Nobody Cares Starks. And I'm asking, I will ask y'all this. I will actually be willing to do this. I will ask y'all this. Do any of y'all care? Real question, real talk here. Do any of y'all care about Ricky Starks, or is it just one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, well, he exists, and I guess that's cool. I just feel like he's got no purpose. Like he just is taking up screen time at this point, and I don't like that. I feel like Ricky Starks, crazily enough, actually deserves better. And two, I feel like, why did y'all have him in all these great feuds if your grand idea for him was, oh, we don't know what to do with him? Out comes CM Punk, who blarf. Kind of hard to do this with just one person. Kind of wishing Jay was here tonight, but whatever. So yeah. Well, in Toronto, there's a couple people cheering for him, which, I mean, Toronto actually, in their defense, is a place that they just flat out just love wrestling to the point where I've been in Toronto once or twice when there was an event, and they cheered. I mean, they cheered to cheer. Like, it was crazy. Like, they would cheer the faces, boo the heels, cheer the faces, cheer the heels, boo the face. It was just whoever they liked at that moment, they cheered for. And yeah, I actually will say Toronto is probably one of the best places that has one of the best places for wrestling. They're just good. They're covering how last week the Guns defeated the Hardy Boys, or we all like to know them as the "they need to retire already" boys. And I don't care if Mick Thomason is on here. I will say it to his face. The Hardys need to retire. And take Punk with them, actually. I wouldn't mind if they took Punk with them because, let's be honest here, all of them are rusty now. But, anyways, here we go. So it looks like starting off the match is going to be, I think that's Austin, but I could be wrong. But I think it looks like it's going to be Austin and, okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Yeah. So starting the match is going to be, so it's going to be CM Punk and Jay White, a match I actually would like to see sometime, a singles match, just CM Punk and Jay White. I mean, I want to see Jay White, hit him with that Blade Runner so hard it gives Punk amnesia, but I actually would like to see that match. That would be a good match. So what do y'all think of this format thus far? Do y'all like Collision? Do you think that Collision should stick around, or what do y'all think? I'll say this. It's a million times better than Rampage in my mind. So now we got to tag out. So now it's Juice Robinson and CM Punk. And I have to say, I'm with Jay. I'm a huge Juice Robinson fan. I feel like Juice Robinson is actually somebody who he's just so entertaining to watch. The way he runs around like an absolute maniac, and he's like, "You, I'm the Rock Hard Club." It's very entertaining stuff, and at the end of the day, that's why we watch wrestling, is to be entertained. That's why when other people were bashing on the whole, oh, Jericho Appreciation is sports entertainment, I was like, this is really good. This is entertaining, and that's what I'm here for. So now we're getting Dax Harwood and Juice Robinson. I don't know why, but because Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler sound like such fake names, I have trouble sometimes remembering which one is which. Does anyone else have that issue ever? Sometimes, like, it's hard to remember which one is which because it's like, man, neither one of these sound like real names. So let's see. Juice Robinson with a scoop slam to Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood comes back, headlock takeover. Clearly remembering that he was part of the Pinnacle because that's what MJF loves to use. Back body drop from Juice Robinson. Beautiful looking one, by the way. And now, I don't even know what that was. I don't know if that was the last one of what? The last match? Yes. The last show? No. Like, I'm not sure what you're asking. Is this the last what? So in comes Dax. Is now facing Colton Gunn, I think. I have trouble telling the guns apart sometimes too. I know I shouldn't, but it's like I just have trouble with faces sometimes. I don't know if it's the medicine I'm on or what it is, but stuff, I guess. Colton Gunn getting sent outside, or maybe that was Austin. No, whichever one was not legal. He was sent to the outside, and wow, 6 people in here. Awesome. If any of those is Jay, get on the stream, Jay. I need help. It's hard to do this by yourself. So let's see. Right now we're getting Ricky Starks and whichever one of the guns that is. We got wrist lock takeovers by both of them to each other. They're jockeying positions. Ricky with the wrist trap up to the top rope. By the way, guys, just because I'm calling this, feel free to type or whatever you want in the chat, and I'll respond to it when I see them because, this is first and foremost about you guys, the viewers. Like, that's the most important thing in my mind is, making you all feel welcome here. So we're getting Ricky Starks versus Switchblade Jay White. Ricky acting like he's going to slap Switchblade, which of course is a stupid move because, who would dare to slap the king of Switch? Or is it just King Switch? Anyways. And they tag in CM Punk, so we are now back to CM Punk and Jay White. And the crowd is cheering this a lot. They like CM Punk. What is CM Punk doing? Is he swiveling his hip like he's the New Day? Punk, you're going to break a hip doing that, buddy. You're only in your 80s. Back and forth between Punk and Jay White. Jay White chopping Punk. Punk chopping Jay White. Jay White chopping Punk. Punk chopping Jay White. It's a chop fest. My God, it's a chop fest. And now CM Punk taking advantage, raining down blows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jay shoves him off. He goes for it. Oh, Jay rushes at him. Punk goes for go to sleep. Jay counters into nearly hit the Blade Runner. Punk counters, sends it flying. the distraction from Jay White, and now they're all brawling on the outside. It's chaos. It's pandemonium. I mean, it's a typical AEW show, really. And we go to commercial break. Let's just be honest here, guys. Let's just be honest. Friggin' AEW is chaos 90% of the time. If it's not their god awful booking, then it's us going, why on earth is this guy doing this? But so, anyways. So, like I said, y'all feel free to say anything down in the chat. In the meantime, this is a commercial. I'm in between matches, commercial break here, commercial break there. I'm going for I'm currently playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's being very difficult at the moment because for some reason it's choosing not to show my health bar, and that's making the game very, very difficult. I don't know why it's not showing my health bar, but it's not. Games where you have health bars become infinitely harder when you can't find your health bar. I know that sounds crazy. That's the lesson for tonight, people. You learn something every night here on Savage. Tonight you learn that games with a health bar where you can't see your health bar, it's incredibly difficult. So, Lord Almighty, I do not mind talking about Assassin's Creed with y'all right now because if we were talking about the commercials, I'd have to talk about Insidious, the stupidest horror franchise ever made. So, anyways, so, he does to me too, Richard. He does to me too. He's not the same CM Punk that we watched in WWE or Ring of Honor where he was like, young and full of life and all that. Now he really is just like that grizzled old man who's like, I guess I'll go over to go to sleep now because that's what the spot calls for. I don't know why I turned him into a country old man, but whatever. So, anyways, anyone else excited for the AEW video game coming out this Friday, or well, I guess it's this upcoming Friday. We're not technically in a new week yet, but still, anyone excited for the AEW Fight Forever? Anyone planning to get it, or is it just, it's there? I'm not that interested. I'm getting it day one. Me and Savage are still talking about if we're going to try and stream it to you guys or give y'all something to watch or what we're going to do, but So let's see. Dax Harwood and Juice Robinson. Dax Harwood has Juice up on the top rope. He's going for a superplex. Is he going to hit it? And he hits the superplex. And then he immediately goes for a, well, I guess this is going to be I guess that's the Doomsday device. I mean, honestly, I don't know. It was a good move, though. Reminding us tomorrow night is Forbidden Door on pay-per-view. I don't know if we'll be covering that or not. That'll kind of be up to Savage. If Savage is up for it, I might try and watch it, and we can give you a live play-by-play. But if not, it'll kind of just depend. We're going to get Stu Grayson versus El Phantasmo on 0 Hour, which is actually kind of cool. And then we're going to get the Mogul Embassy versus, what did that just say? Roppongi Vice and El Desperado, which that should be a good match. I like El Desperado. He's one of those masked luchadors who's somehow managed to make a name for himself in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I think is kind of cool. Here we go. Cash Wheeler with a surprise roll up, tries to get 3, doesn't work. gives a big chop to Colton Gunn. Tag. CM Punk tags back in, which, yay, time to go back to sleep, everybody. It's aptly named that his finisher is the go to sleep, right? Because that's what happens when you watch a CM Punk match is you go to sleep. Hey, I suffer from terrible, terrible, terrible insomnia. So I like when CM Punk is on the screen. Gives me a chance to get my sleep back. CM Punk with a neck breaker. He goes for a kind of cover that should get you slapped, like being a little bitch. I don't like taunting covers. I've never understood what the purpose of them is. I mean, I guess just maybe to make your opponent frustrated and make them go, well, he decided to do a push up while trying to pin me, but yeah. Let's see. Colton Gunn has CM Punk in the corner, and he is just laying into him, stomp after stomp after stomp after stomp. To quote good old Stone Cold Steve Austin, he stomped a muddle in him, and he walked it dry. But Jay White now chopped to Punk, and Punk makes it look like it hurt, which it probably did for an 80-year-old geriatric man to be taking a chop. And Jay White was proceeding to wail on Punk until Punk got back in it, goes for a kick, and Jay White hits him with a dragon screw. Jay White now with another dragon screw. And now Juice Robinson working on the leg. They're talking about right now that Jay White is a man of his word. Everything he says eventually comes true, and it does. They're talking now about how fired up Juice Robinson is a dangerous Juice Robinson. That's true. I think Juice Robinson is a wrestler a lot of people sleep on. They think, oh, he's never held any big world titles. Okay, he hasn't. I'll give you that. But he's really good, so I don't really care if he's never had any world titles. I think that Juice Robinson is a highly underrated wrestler. And I know that if Jay was on here, he would agree with me. I don't know why Jay's not on here. I know that he's not. So now we're getting Jay White putting the boots to Punk in the corner. Now the Gun's going for the illegal choke. CM Punk looking angry at that. Going, the only person who chokes me is AJ Lee. Okay, sorry. I'll try and lay off the Punk a little bit. It's hard to look at someone who's that big of a douchebag and not want to be like, yeah, you know what that guy is? He's a douchebag. But anyways. So, other than that, let's see what else. More commercials. Oh, what do y'all guys think so far? So far, Andrade versus Brody King was the match of the night for me. Because I'm honestly convinced Andrade doesn't have bad matches. He may not have like match of the year candidate matches. He may not be that guy who you're like, oh, did you see that amazing Andrade match every week? But every week he puts on a good match, and I think that he deserves more credit than he gets for that. I think. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Okay. I think that I don't actually know. So far, I think Collision is really good. I hope they keep this going. But it does further prove what I've said, which is they need to drop it down to only 2 shows, not 3. 2. And it needs to be Collision and Dynamite. They need to get rid of Rampage. Oh, good Lord. Who isn't? Hold on, Richard. I'll tell you. So the cover of the AEW Fight Forever video game is on the cover of it, since you asked. The cover of the give me one sec, guys. Sorry, I lost my stream yards for a second. So you asked this. So the cover of the AEW Fight Forever video game, the cover star is Darby Allin, Chris Jericho, Britt Baker, MJF, Orange Cassidy, Daniel Bryan, Adam Page, Jade Cargill, Kenny Omega, and Jon Moxley. So it's all those guys. But it does kind of make sense because they said that unlike WWE, they're not planning on doing theirs as a yearly game. It's going to be a one-off, like one, and then they get constant updates, constant DLC. As weird as it's going to sound, because I normally don't like these, but almost kind of like a live service game, which I think could be smart. I think it'll further differentiate it from WWE. If I don't have to buy a new version of it every year, I kind of like that. That's kind of good. CM Punk with a big crossbody from the top rope. He looks like he's having trouble breathing, probably because he's in his 80s. I know that Jay. I'm also kind of bashing on Punk in the hopes that it'll get Jay on here, because normally when somebody bashes on Punk, Jay's ears start burning. I mean, I'm also saying it because it's accurate, but so yeah, Richard, there's your answer. Who's on the cover of the AEW game? A lot of people. And recently they revealed that there will probably, in fact, at some point be a Forbidden Door DLC in which we will get people like Jay White, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, those kind of people. So I'm actually okay with waiting for the DLC for that, because those are all people I would like to have in the game. Jay White goes to CM Punk with a swinging neck breaker. Very ugly looking swinging neck breaker. He looks rusty. He just does. He looks like he hasn't done this in a while, which he hasn't, but he just doesn't look good. I'm loving that Juice Robinson keeps taunting. Oh, Juice Robinson going for the go to sleep on CM Punk. Please hit it. Please hit it. Please hit it. Please hit it. No, CM Punk catches his leg. Roundhouse kick to Juice Robinson, who's now pretending to be laid out after that insanely weak-looking kick from CM Punk. CM Punk with a hot tag. In comes Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, who is in absolutely just clearing house right now, despite being an absolute blech. He goes for an Alabama slam and rushes the other Gun brother. Admittedly, that swinging DDT he just did off the top rope, that was actually pretty nice. That was pretty nice from Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks going for that Rochambeau, doesn't get it because he gets cut off. In comes Jay White beating him down. Now Juice Robinson's in trying to beat up Cash Wheeler, and it's just more chaos in the ring, because that's evidently what we do now. Is we don't know how we want this match to finish. Let's just fill the space with chaos, right, guys? I mean, this isn't a terrible match. It's just it's standard fare for them. Wait, why would he be pissed off that John Moxley is sharing? Why would he be pissed off that John Moxley is sharing the cover? That's a good thing. If we had to look at solely Moxley's ugly face, nobody would buy it. And yes, I will say that just so we're clear. I will say that to Anthony Loves Wrestling's face. I will tell him to his face, John Moxley is terrible. Nobody wants him on the cover of a video game. Nobody. Oh, Ricky Stark's going for a Rochambeau on them. Doesn't work. Roll up. 1, 2, almost 3. Ricky Starks going for a Rochambeau again. No, that was a lifting brainbuster. Juice Robinson shoving Ricky Starks off of Jay White. And now we are waiting to see what will happen. Juice Robinson, pile driver from Dax Harwood. The Guns did something. I'm not sure what that was. Dax Harwood throwing Colton Gunn over the top rope, taking out the rest of the gang. And Cash Wheeler now going for a suicide dive. And good Lord, did he whiff that. He hit that barricade and hard. I feel bad for him. Uranagi spikes CM Punk. Uranagi spikes Ricky Starks. 2. Only a 2 count. Jay White going for Blade Runner. Hit it, please. Hit it, please. Hit it, please. No. Roll up. 1, 2. He spears. Spear to Jay White. Spear to Colton Gunn. Spear to another Gunn. Left hand from Juice Robinson. Blade Runner. Jay White hits it. 1, 2, 3. Jay White wins. As it should be. Because you know who shouldn't win anything ever again for the rest of his life? That's right. CM Puke. That was actually a really good match, though. That was a good match, you guys. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that match. Was it the best match ever? No, but it was decent enough. CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. I hope Kojima knocks his head off. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP US Championship. I'm going to call it now. Will Ospreay has to win that match, guys. If Will Ospreay does not win that match, I don't know what New Japan's thought process is. So let's see. And we got a massive from the Guns and the Bullet Club Gold. We got a group, 2 sweet group Guns. And that's the show, guys. So all in all, pretty good. I actually, if they continue to book this the way they have been, there's a very good chance I'm actually going to say that Collision has the potential to be better than Dynamite. Dynamite, in my opinion, has been kind of lacking lately, and I'm kind of liking that they're taking things and building up. Like, I think the best match of the night, no question, was Andrade versus Brody King, and Brody King looked like he was going to tap out to the figure eight, just like Buddy Matthews did last week before Buddy Matthews ran down and hit him, costing him the match. So I like that they're going something. Yeah, I agree with you, Gianna, forever. I agree with you. I think that Collision is actually doing better with its storytelling right now um, than than Dynamite is. Dynamite, to me, their storytelling is all over the place. Like, some segments are really good. Like the Bullet Club versus the Elite thing, that's actually a good story at the moment. But unfortunately, they also have some storytelling that's all over the place. Like, I don't get what the thought process is with Hobbs. Like, I still don't. Yeah, Savage is jacked. Savage makes me look like a fat potato. So, thanks, Savage.
Listen, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, bro. I was waiting to see how long it was going to take you to just say what's up, Savage.
I mean, I saw you in there. I didn't feel the need to say what's up. I trust you.
Yeah, man, that's fucked up. You acknowledged the chat more than Savage. Wow. Gianna, look at this shit. So what did I miss on Collision? Give me like the 1 minute Collision take right now.
Okay.
1 minute. 1 minute. Your time.
Okay. We found out that Tetsuya Naito is Sting and Darby Allin's partner. We got a great match between Andrade and Brody King. We got a squash match with Powerhouse Hobbs and some dude whose name I don't think they even said. Christian Cage addressed the crowd saying that he wants to bring prestige to the TNT Championship, make it the new A Championship in all Elite Wrestling, bring prestige to it. And then we got the Guns and Bullet Club Gold versus CMFTR and Ricky Starks, and it was a good match.
It was a good match. You're talking about these guns? You want some guns? Give me some fucking guns. I gotta work on those.
It's again, you look good. I'm getting back into.
I look terrible compared to what I used to look like.
I'm getting back into the habit of trying to work out every day.
I'm an old man. I still got the shoulders.
You're not an old man.
I'm an old fucking man.
You're not old. CM Punk is old. The guy looks like he's in his 80s.
So did CM Punk like captivate you for Saturday night? Like, is he enough reason for you to tune in every Saturday right now, or no?
No. But what's getting me tuning in?
I'm not here. I can't tune in. You know what I'm doing, right? You know what I'm doing. You know
family stuff, I would assume.
Well, was doing family stuff, but now it's Final Fantasy stuff. Time. Yeah. I worked hard all day, busted my ass, did everything I had to do. I feel like I deserve a few hours of the Final Fantasy.
You do. You absolutely do. No, CM Punk is not enough to captivate me to watch.
So CM Punk is not enough. That's the main thing I wanted to know. Is CM Punk enough for you to tune in? But here's the thing.
The matches on Collision that we've had thus far have been so good that like even if I was a big CM Punk fan, I would still be like,
"What's up, Gianna?"
Hey, the match
on Jay. Good. Congratulations to your son for graduating, by the way. Big shout out to Jay.
Congratulations.
Shout out to everybody in the Savage Kingdom. All right, so Punk's not enough, but obviously the matches that are going on is so far enough for you to keep tuning in. I read in the chat, it looks like storytelling is happening on Collision better than it is on Dynamite, which is good to hear, but still not enough. I'm only interested in one thing that happened tonight, which I like to ask you about now. What did Miro have to say?
Miro had to say typical Miro stuff, but basically that, his God told him he would be champion again if he would just so long as he would praise him. He has decided that his God is not only a coward, but also an idiot. So
listen, Miro is not an idiot. Miro is a fucking beast, man. And see what does it say there? Can you read that right there?
God's next champion, yeah.
And that's not an opinion. That's a fact. This guy will be AEW champion of the world.
One of the things that I really like about Miro is because
tough.
Because I have a friend who actually got a chance to talk to him, and he said, so here's the funny thing. He goes, Miro is actually a devout Christian. He goes, but the thing is, he goes, the my God in the things, he's not actually talking about God like the deity. He said, so very few people know this, but the God that he's supposed to be talking about is like, he's said this before. You're a coward. You're an idiot. You're an old man just sitting up there doing nothing. He's like, this is supposed to be almost kind of like when Brody Lee would say the same things about parodying Vince McMahon. This is kind of Miro supposed to be parodying people who have told him, hey, you're not anything big in this. You're just, you're only going to be good if you follow along with me. And he's going, no, I'm going to do things my own way. And I'm starting to like the Redeemer gimmick.
No, there's nothing wrong with the Redeemer gimmick. It just needs to be sent off the rails so he can have good matches, but beat the shit out of people. Have people be scared of him, intimidated of him. Needs to have more serious storylines.
Like, look at you. Look at your guns. And if you saw Miro in a dark alley storming towards you, you'd be like, oh, shit, I am running the other direction.
Well, I know Miro, so I don't think so. But if I didn't know him, yeah, maybe.
So I'll say this. I'm not even a fan of the House of Black. I'm not a big Malachi Black fan. But I am interested to see where the Andrade versus House of Black feud is going. Do we get him back together with Roosh and maybe add in El Hijo Vaquingo or something? Or do we, like, what is...
Well, there's a lot of potential matches they can get out of that, but it depends, what are they going to do with Andrade as far as, like, singles, tag team, trios?
I'm one of the people...
Where do you put him right now? Do you put him in a singles run? Do you put him in a trios run? Do you put him in a tag team run?
Andrade?
Yeah. I mean, you saw him in a singles match tonight. What would you rate his level of performance amongst the company? Yeah. How did he stack himself against the best of the best wrestling ability?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 8. Everything in it was good. It was believable. He went several times for, a big move. The, shoulder gave out. They really played up the shoulder injury.
You saw the match, so I'm talking about, like, not just the moves, but how about his ring movement, the way he hit the ropes, the way he got in the ring, the way he was hopping around. Did he look like he have any ring rust?
If they introduce, I will say this. He looks like, and I know I'm going to get some hate here, but
not for me.
He looks like he has less ring rust than Punk does.
That's a fair assessment.
Looks like he bounced back a lot faster, and here's the thing.
Well, he's a lot younger, too.
True. And I think that if at some point, let's even say that in that red velvet bag, he brings it to the ring this Saturday at Forbidden Door or whatever, he announces, okay, here's the Collision World title. I see Andrade as a future, he could be a Collision World champ. He could be the guy who, in time, could be the face of Collision. Because Punk's not going to be able to be it forever.
I'm glad they just stuck Punk on Collision because I don't really plan on watching it too many times. I'm sure I'm going to catch it once in a while. I'm going to go to it live. But, Punk is just like the draw guy right now for Collision. It's like they're whoring him out just to get somebody to watch on a Saturday night. And you know what? Have you even seen any of the ratings? Like, are they killing it with the Collision?
Yeah, actually, the last 2 weeks, this week and last week.
Are more people watching Collision than Dynamite?
I don't know about that. I'd have to look. I know more people are watching it than Rampage. So, like I said all along, they need to drop one of the shows, and it needs to be Rampage. Nobody watches Rampage anymore. Collision, I think Collision could be a good secondary show. I think it could be its SmackDown, where it's like, yes, Raw is the flagship show and Dynamite's the flagship show, but here's Collision for the people who are like, I want to watch something that's not the main, roster.
Yeah.
Could be good. I think Andrade's really good. So I love miscellaneous trivia, and so something cool, and you can learn things on Wrestling with Savage. We're not just about great wrestling matches. You also learn things. So Andrade's entrance theme is called Kill the Messenger. Why this is interesting is because the name Malachi literally is Hebrew, and it means my messenger. So you have Andrade with a song called Kill the Messenger. You have Malachi's name, who means my messenger. So I feel like this is something that it's like subtle little things like that. I don't know that it was planned, but subtle little things like that could be the thing that AEW needs to kind of differentiate it. Start feuds over something that seems insignificantly small, like what's in your entrance theme, but then have such great matches that it's like, okay, look, they're fighting over something stupid, but the matches are great.
Well, what's the reason they've given so far for them even fighting as of right now?
The
What was the
main
reason
reason
for this singles match?
The main reason they're giving for it so far is that Andrade came back, he beat Buddy Matthews, and Malachi does not like the fact that Andrade came back and it was immediately a big deal. He feels like House of Black has been holding it down this whole time. Why is it Andrade came back and immediately he's getting whatever he wants?
Okay.
I mean, it's not a horrible feud. Like I said, the problem I have with House of Black is they've scaled them back, which I like. But when they first started, for me, the whole, coming to the ring and the bone mask with a pentagram swing and all, that was a little much. Now they've kind of scaled it back. Now they do kind of that quick entrance where it's like the lights go out, entrance.
It's one of those things where you got to try to either embrace it or just hate it, because at the end of the day, that's right. Those guys' gimmick. It's not like it's anything new for them. They've been doing that kind of theme, especially Malachi. I mean, Aleister Black from NXT.
He's an actual Lilith.
Was someone that, in my opinion, was a legitimate badass in WWE. I looked at him as someone that could have been up there competing with Roman Reigns had he never come to AEW.
I would have easily booked a Roman Reigns versus Aleister Black feud.
But not even to compete with him, but maybe be the guy that takes the title off him. He had a lot of heat with him. He had a good gimmick. He had a good finisher. He had a good storyline. He looked like a serious contender. So now he comes to AEW, starts the House of Black. For me, I take it serious for him because it's like,
here's the thing.
That's what he would have been doing in WWE anyway.
I've met Tommy. So for those of y'all who don't know, Malachi Black's real name is Tommy End. And the E&D stands for something, but I never got it. But I met him. Really nice dude. But, and we talked about this. But he, like, the Dark Father gimmick and all that stuff was actually going to be for a specific reason, which is, and, we're all adults in this chat, so I feel like we can talk about adult things. Tommy was born to a man who led a cult in Amsterdam. And as he was growing up, he was subjected to this. And I'm talking one of those crazy cults where I think he's told this story publicly, but I know he's also told me. His father at 18 years old forced him to have at 14 years old, forced him to have sex with a woman while he watched so that he could be like, this is you continuing my bloodline. So Tommy has incorporated a lot of that into his character. A lot of this, even House of Black to a certain degree, is him trying to come to grips with his past, what affected him, what shaped him into who he is. And I like it because with a lot of these, spooky characters, you're like, they're just spooky, whatever. With Malachi, he's
not necessarily a spooky character. He's just someone who's on the dark side. I mean, you can take that as spooky. Like when people think of Darth Vader, you don't necessarily hear the term spooky. You hear evil. You hear he's a badass. He's unstoppable. Shit like that. That's how I look at Malachi. I look at him as more of like a dark character, and these are guys that are just on the dark side. They're not like doing witchcraft or any crazy shit like that. No. But they're on the dark side. That's all. I mean, I said, keep it simple. There's good and evil, and I think they're on the evil spectrum.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, I think that, and Malachi has even said this in interviews, when it first started with the whole, pentagram swinging, the snake biting his hand, and children of the House of Black and all that, it didn't necessarily, that might have been too much. He was like, okay, so I scale it back something. He goes, I still have some of that stuff, but not all of it. And I think,
none of the shit they ever did really bothered me or anything. Honestly, I didn't even take it that seriously because when they first came in, they kind of went away. They went away as quickly as they came. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have a long run.
No, they didn't. They were quickly kind of shoved away. And let's put it this way. All the stuff he's done, none of it has ever bothered me as much as stuff like the Isla Dawn or the Coven in that, where it's like, they're out
I
in the
can
woods.
overlook all that shit because at the end of the day, he'll get in the ring and have put on a better match than almost anybody else on that card.
Yeah,
He has that ability.
he does.
So
I remember watching, like, on pay-per-view with my friends with when it was the Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black at that time, and that was such a good match that I looked at both people and like both of these men are going to be big stars, and
well, Velveteen was ahead of his time, but he got buried for all the cancel culture nonsense. I mean, maybe he got. I don't know the truth about anything, and I don't think anybody really
None
does.
of us ever will.
It's all hearsay. He said, she said. It could have been
who
people
knows?
that were jealous trying to bury him, or maybe he really was a scumbag. I don't know.
But who does know? Him and the person involved and God. Those are the only three people that know.
Either way, it's tough to even talk about because people hate him. A lot of people hate him. No.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, and maybe that hate is well placed. I'm just saying I don't personally know, so I can't judge them.
I drop it now. There's no point to even get into it. From what I saw, as far as like what he did in the ring while I watched him, that dude definitely had the stuff. So it would have been a big
from
star.
That topic, let me ask you a question. If we're not talking about him as a human being. We're talking about what he did in the ring. And I know it's hard to differentiate too, but if we're talking
it's not
just what he did in the ring, do you think that Chris Benoit deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I've said that before. But just his character,
Yeah, just his character. Yeah, the character.
At the end of the day, the character's getting into the Hall of Fame, not the person.
Right. The thing is,
because he's dead.
The big thing for me, going back to what we were talking about a minute ago, the big thing for me about Collision is, yes, it seems like they're kind of going more like we can tell our stories by the in-ring stuff and also the promos. The fact that Andrade went for the same move to beat Brody that he used to beat Buddy. It's like that's telling a story that Andrade is going, I beat one guy in this group with it, I can beat this guy with it. And then Buddy Matthews.
But are they giving these stories maybe too little time? Do you think they're trying to tell too many stories? Because I see like it's stacked with matches. So 2 hours. How well can you really tell some of these stories when you have like 10 matches?
Some of them, I think, easily you can. I think for me personally, the two big stories for me that are going on right now is the Andrade versus House of Black one, which they're doing really good with that. And then the other one for me is Miro, which I feel like they're doing a good job with his story at the moment. Because the only thing I do not like about what they're doing with Miro is if you watch that first episode of Collision, there were a couple of times where it looked like he was almost kind of struggling against Tony Nese. I like Tony Nese, but I think if you're bringing Miro back, you book him as an absolute monster. Nobody looks like they're ever going to have a chance of beating him.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I'm not totally, like, I'm probably a little biased when I'm saying it, but I'm not totally opposed to the way they booked it because I like Tony Nese. He's a good athlete. Mm-hmm. He deserves to have some shine, and you're not going to have many opportunities to look good as having that first match against Miro. So maybe they were looking at it in that perspective. Maybe Tony was like, Miro's coming back. It's a big matchup. Everybody's looking forward to seeing what he has. This is an opportunity for us to elevate Tony Nese by letting him have a match with a Miro. It just elevates him. The only
problem I'm seeing with Miro right now is it's like, what feud are we going to put him in? Unless they're done, like let's just say this. Let's say Luchasaurus beat Wardlow.
No, he needs to go straight after Gold, man. In my opinion, and I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but honestly, if I had the fucking pencil, I would let him rip the title off MJF, man, brutally and viciously. Brutally and viciously. Not necessarily right now. Maybe like towards the end of the year.
Down the road, yeah.
Like towards the end of the year, maybe, or maybe even after next year, maybe Double or Nothing. I mean, you could have Miro. I'd have no problem letting Miro have 2 belts. Let him have the TNT title and then say, fuck it, I want the AEW. It would make sense to me. He just snaps and gets to become that Miro that you're talking about. The one that comes out and just, maybe he's not there yet with the psyche, like, and they can make that all part of the storyline. Like, He just snaps and realizes who he is and what he's capable of, and from that
And
point forward,
I just like
squash time.
Miro. I also just really like Miro as a person. Like, I thought it was
Oh, he's a
nice.
great guy.
I thought it was nice that even though, they're on two different things, like,
No, listen, he's a great guy, but right now, man, he has an opportunity where he could literally reincarnate himself as like the new Sergeant Slaughter, the new Iron Sheik, all wrapped up in one fucking package. That outsider, not American, let him be the fucking international champion, the world champion. Like, fuck. To me, he's the guy that's taking the title off Orange Cassidy. He's the guy that's taking the title off Orange Cassidy.
I would book that 100%.
Rips it right out of his heart. He rips that book bag apart. He breaks the glasses. He rips the jean jacket off. All of it, just like he fucking crushes Orange Cassidy.
I do all of that, and that's not because I'm like when AEW first started, I could not stand the Orange Cassidy gimmick. It's really grown on me.
I still can't. I respect him as a wrestler, and I even respect the gimmick a little bit because I get it more now because I'll say this. I feel like it's been forced upon me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that has not grown organically with me. It's something that's been shoved down my psyche for so many years now that I've just said, fuck it. I'll pay $100 for his autograph.
And I get that. I
paid $100 for his autograph. Did you think I wanted to do? I feel like I was brainwashed into believing that they elevated him to this level now. And it's just like it's drilled in your head. Nah, Orange is our guy. Orange is our guy. Orange is our guy because he wins and fucking wins and fucking wins. Beats people that he shouldn't beat in any scenario.
No, and I'll say this.
Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. If it was me, I would have had Swerve take the belt off him. I think that was.
I don't mind that either. But since we're past that now, and I'm thinking of like relatively booking right now, it makes sense. Miro's that international. He's more international than an Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
All right.
And the only thing that I don't like necessarily 100% about the whole, he's the new Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter wrapped into one. We've seen with this Redeemer.
Well, as far as like technical wrestling, submission wrestling, and that he's from another area. He's a European, he's not American.
After seeing the Redeemer gimmick and it being as good as it is, I don't think that they should do the whole turning him into the I hate America thing because he
doesn't have to be that. But the point is, if they wanted to, who could do it better than him right now? I could see him coming out with like Russian gear and like going crazy with the Soviet shit, especially right now what's going on in the world with Russia and America. And dude, they could tap into that kind of like 90s Vince shit. Dude, it would blow up. I know you're over there grinning because you're like, oh, I think that's a little much. But tell me not. He comes to the ring. With like a nuclear missile type of fucking thing, like literally, like on one of those carts, and it's got a nuke attached to it. He's like, yeah, Vladimir Putin. I wait for his call any day now. I nuke all of you.
I mean,
bro, next level.
I don't think you're wrong. It would get a shit ton of hate, and he could do it. But at the same time, I don't think. Here's the thing: some of the people
it's cheapy.
And some of the people who did those, like I know a friend who
Slaughter did that great.
Iron
better than anybody.
Iron Sheik loved it. But at the same time, he was like one of those people who was like, at the end of the day, he was like, what people needed to understand was, I ran number 1, USA. He was like, if I really thought that, I wouldn't be over here working for this company.
He's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, like what Sergeant Slaughter and what Iron Sheik were able to do is something that you don't find in wrestling anymore. They made it feel so real to hate these characters that people would be willing to send death threats, willing to kill these men, throw beer bottles at them, spit at them, try to stab them after shows. Like that's a level of evoking emotion that we don't really have anymore in pro wrestling. No one takes it to that level.
He took things a little too far sometimes, but you know who else did that really well?
They all did.
Shout out to him because
you don't think Roddy Piper took things a little too far sometimes? I mean, who did it more? There's plenty of guys out there that pushed it.
I'm going to tell you one that I think did. And shout out to him because I think he's deceased now, but he was great at it. But man, there were some times going back watching it, I was like, New Jack took things a little too far.
No, New Jack didn't just take things too far. He took things to the end of the world and then drove over the cliff.
Yeah. His
crashed down, made a hole in the ground, and kept going straight to fucking hell. Like some of the things he did.
New Jack reminds me of that old movie, This Is Spinal Tap, when they're talking about the thing, and he's like, this one goes up to 11. Well, why don't you just make 10 louder?
Yeah, I don't think there was enough money in the world for me to get in a ring with New Jack, because that guy would have busted me open real fucking quick with a fork. He would have stabbed me. Like, he was fucking crazy, bro. In the ring, crazy. Outside, you can have a conversation with him. He was still nuts, but you could have a convo with him. But in the ring, that talking shit, it's over. It's time to put on a show, and it's New Jack's show.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter who was on the other side of that ring. They were going to get fucked up.
Absolutely.
He was going to leave you with something that you would remember.
And New Jack was one of those guys who, and I'm not saying he's not believable too, but like Bully Ray, I will beat you and I will punch you in the mouth. I don't care if you're a woman. New Jack would have been like, I don't care that you're a 5-year-old kid. I'll punch you.
All right, Mick Thomason, I got you. Mick Thomason has been demanding that I show this picture. This is tantalizing Tony's new girlfriend. So shout out to Tony and the new girl. I think Travis just ended that.
Ended what?
Picture.
No, I was saying congrats to Tantalizing Tony.
You happy, Mick? Okay.
Just being nice.
He's happy.
Hey, you know what? This is something. This is just me as a human being. Like, somebody was talking about this yesterday. We're like, does it bother you ever that you're a co-host and you're, and that Savage has a wife and kid? I'm like, no. Why would I ever be mad that another human being has a good life? That's just silly to me.
Life is life, man. You gotta live it.
So in conclusion, I think that Collision, is it better than Dynamite right this minute? No. Could it be better than this? If Dynamite continues to get worse and this continues to stay good, yes, I would say it could replace Dynamite. But as it stands right now,
for me, it's staying a DVR show for now. I mean, I am gonna watch a few episodes, but it's not there yet for me. AEW in general is not there. MJF's not on it. You know what I mean? He's my favorite wrestler from AEW.
So since you mentioned that, he is going to make his Collision debut next week.
Next week. Okay. All right. Interesting. Maybe next Saturday will be the Saturday that I watch. It's a possibility.
Well, and the thing for me...
When is next week? Hold on. Let's see. It's July 1st.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going Icons of Wrestling, but I don't really feel like
the number one thing that could fix Collision for me, you move it to a different day of the week. I think Saturday is a really hard ask when you have people you got college football.
Listen, if they had balls, they'd move Dynamite to Monday and they would move Collision to Friday and call it a day.
Oh, absolutely.
And Rampage could be on Tuesdays with NXT.
And what's crazy for me, at least, is
it should be Rampage, Ring of Honor, 2 hours, 8 to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then you have Rampage and Ring of Honor. Both have a 1 hour show. Rampage is your leftovers from AEW. And then Ring of Honor is your Ring of Honor.
I agree. Now, and here's what's crazy to me about this is, remember, like when Max Caster, and I'll never forget this was one of the most famous raps to me, was the one when he was talking against Samoa Joe and the Owen Hart thing, and he was like, when we were beating them, he was their champ. It's like they loved taking shots at WWE, but now that they're like, they've got 2 other shows, and it's like, but you're not willing to go on Monday or Friday. So why are you taking shots at them if you're not willing to back that up?
Because it's the cheap pop that, that's why they love saying anything like Triple H or Vince or even MJF. Whenever he gets a chance to say Triple H or Cody Rhodes or Vince, he takes it,
Do you really think, and let me ask you this, do you really think MJF goes to WWE, or do you think that he renegotiates a contract?
No, I think he has to stay with AEW as far as AEW remaining with its identity intact. Like if MJF leaves AEW, they lose a huge part of their identity. They already took a huge blow by losing Cody Rhodes, who was one of the cornerstones. And people want to talk about the 4 pillars. I mean, fuck that. To me, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, those are the 4 fucking pillars of AEW. Without them, that company doesn't even go anywhere. Obviously, Moxley fucking helped, but those were the 4 that were going around doing free autograph signings throughout the whole fucking country, just so they could tell you AEW was coming.
They always talked about the 4 pillars as the young guys, but for me, in my mind, the 4 pillars of AEW were Jericho, Moxley, Omega, and MJF. I was like, those were your
100%. Without Jericho and Moxley, they definitely don't become who they are. Yeah. But I think they have to keep MJF to answer your question. But enough questions, enough wrestling talk. I'm tired. You're tired. I'm sure it's been a long week. I'm sure you're gonna play. What are you gonna play now?
I didn't get 16, so right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay, I might play Street Fighter because one of my co-hosts that you never met yet has been talking shit. I'm gonna tell him maybe his bitch ass should come on Monday Night Raw so I can kick his ass live in front of the whole Savage Kingdom. I'll pay to watch that. Yeah, it'll be free. You won't have to pay shit. But we're all out of here. Travis, thank you so much for hosting this show.
I'm glad you're liking it. I'm glad you're enjoying 16 though, because
it's fun so far. I like it. I like the fact that the summons are all connected to a person now. You know, it's cool. It's good storytelling.
I'm watching a friend play it right now, and somebody the other day was like, "What are you talking about? That you like this? You didn't get the game." I'm like, just because I didn't get the game doesn't mean I can't enjoy watching someone else play it.
What I tell you about listening to other people, fucking stop it. They're all fucking stupid.
Oh, I just try and help these dumbasses be not dumbasses.
Don't just help yourself. Trust me, man. Only help yourself.
Oh, I know.
When you start helping all these other randoms, they don't appreciate it. You're better off helping strangers.
But I'm okay with it.
You do your volunteer work. You get more out of helping some strangers than these random fucking people.
Yeah, absolutely, I do.
Everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's got an asshole.
I had a kid come up to me the other day, and his mom goes, "I know nothing about anime or manga. Is this appropriate for you to read, for him to read?" And she goes, I'm like, "No, that one's not, but try this, 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 this." She comes back in the next week, and she's like, "Oh my God, he loved all those books. Thank you for recommending it." And for the rest of that day, I had a huge smile on my face.
Sometimes that's all it takes, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll see you for Monday Night Raw, and I'll have live coverage and some clips tomorrow from the battlefield in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. If you want, check it out on the Premier Streaming Network.
Are we going to cover tomorrow being Forbidden Door, or we'll just go over that on Monday?
I can put, if you want to do a live play-by-play, I can set up a stream for you. You can do it. That's up to you. Let me know.
I'm fine to cover it Monday.
I'll be gone. I won't be home till like midnight.
We'll just go over it on Monday.
Sounds like a plan, brother. I'll talk to you later. Everybody have a good night, man. Take care.
You have a good one, Savage.
Peace.